So before we dive into this awesome video, it was sponsored by Eniba.com, which is a marketplace where you can purchase game keys for an extremely low price. Now Eniba.com has been live for about a month or so, but has a ton of users that are extremely happy. Now of course you can get things like games, gift cards for your Xbox games and PlayStation, etc. And what's really cool is on the weekends, Eniba.com has sales where you can find top games at a really low price. Now all you gotta do is register using my link in the description below in order to get yourself a €1 bonus, and even better, if you use my code SuperRebel, you will get yourself a 3% discount. So hey, if you want to save your pennies but get some amazing games at the same time, then what are you waiting for? Check out Eniba.com, the link is in the description below. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we do have some new exclusive gameplay of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and some new details, of course, that we were able to gather from that gameplay, which is what this video is about. Now of course this is a game that I have hopped onto pretty late, but I did mention in my community tab a couple of days ago that it really does feel like a must-have. And of course, if you are like me a couple of weeks ago and you weren't exactly sure what this game is about, in a nutshell, you need to collect all the Infinity Stones before the Black Order does, and you go through different chapters, etc. Unlike typical Marvel games, the more you go into the game, like the further you progress, you meet new characters, etc. So jumping into the new details that we were actually able to pick up from this gameplay video, which did show some small little gameplay of Spider-Man, which does look really cool. But first and foremost, we did find out that the game does default to having damage indicators on, which you don't see in this version of the game, but it has been said to be in the final version. So of course, that being said, it is going to be a lot busier on screen. There's a few different things that will show up, but to me, I mean, these are all things that are going to be necessary. Now you do have 3 AI companions at any point, and you can basically jump from one to one, and if you have a friend over, for example, it's super easy for them to just jump in and out without you losing any progress. So I thought that was a really neat feature as well. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you basically go through chapters. So in this one, you see in chapter 2, you can see Iron Man, Captain America, and of course Spider-Man, where you go to Earth. But what is great is they have the entire team fully equipped here with loads of different heroes to switch from. And that being said, you do have Scarlet, which is one of the actual heroes in the game that can go ahead and use the ability to heal others in the game. So when you see things like this, having that ability to switch characters as well, but of course someone being able to heal one another, that is going to be really handy. Now, when it comes down to side missions, these things are really interesting to me. You can always gather different things from them. So you got ones in this which are like story runs, where you could go back to like a certain point in the game but use different characters instead, and you can go through waves, etc. So what we did find out is that this is called Infinity Trials, and that just gives you more challenges to help unlock more things. For example, defeating X amount of enemies within a certain time. You got a countdown to go through chapters, so it kind of like all ties into ability trials and so forth, but you want that challenge, and it definitely seems to be giving you that challenge. I mean, even if you go and check out the full video, which of course is linked in the description below, you will see like loads of different things within the gameplay where there are definitely challenging aspects there, which does make it a whole lot more fun. Now, moving on to the camera modes in the game, what you see here with Spider-Man and so forth, we have the Heroic, which is basically a camera that, well, it's a mode that you need to use when you're just using one screen. And of course here, like I said, we see Spider-Man gameplay, which looks super cool, but in a nutshell, it just zooms in on the character a little bit more. And every 10 levels you get a new ability, but it does max out to 4 abilities, but you can also customize which buttons are which, and also ability orbs that allow you to power up specific abilities that you basically as a player use the most. So those are the new details that we were able to gather from the gameplay gameplay video, but if you just want to go ahead and check it out with sound and everything, the whole commentary from Game Informer, which they will have a whole week's coverage next week on individual characters, then you were definitely up for a treat, because it does seem really cool. Of course, the downside of this is that it's a Switch exclusive, but that being said, I think this will be a big game nonetheless. It's going to be one you definitely want to go ahead and play with your mates, because the gameplay looks a ton of fun. But guys, it's going to wrap up the video here. Of course, subscribe for more awesome content if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and adios amigos.